láyé olúgbọ́n mo ké borùn méje ẹ ò máa kọ̀ yí lórin láyé àrẹ̀sà mo ké borùn mẹ́fà ẹ ò máa kọ̀ yí lórin láyé ìsẹ̀yìn èmi ra kókò mo ra rán mo ra sányán bàbá sọ àfọ̀lẹ́ ló lè pélé.
Hello, good evening, wherever you're watching me from, inside Nigeria and outside Nigeria. My name is Adeyemo Adegbemga Ganio. I'm a Yoruba descent. I'm from Oyo State. I have a related history in terms of knowledge. My purpose of this YouTube video is for all my Yorubas, home and abroad, to understand most of the hidden truth in regards to their origin. For thousands of years, there has been no accurate history in regards to where the Yorubas originated from. In my own way, I shall be detailing certain things people don't really pay attention to. And this is I want to be in the middle. I'm not a religionist. That is one fact. But I believe in God. And I have my reasons for being like that. I was born as a Muslim, but there are so many things. I'm the kind of person I ask questions. I'm not like I'm not like a sheep. Just do it. I'm not that kind of person. I ask questions and I hold on to the truth. In regards to my essence of this YouTube channel, this will be my first official video I shall be making. I've made some earlier videos, but it was solely based in Yorubas. So many Yorubas in diaspora who are in typical Yoruba speaking individuals, they had to tell me to make it in English, at least to mix it up. Which is why I'm calling this my real official video, which everyone can be able to relate. Like I said earlier, my name is Adeyemo Benga. I'm in I live in Nigeria. So let's start. I have so many things I want to talk about. By the time you start listening to me, I believe by God's grace, you will start asking questions. You start making findings, and for sure, your life will never be the same. There are so many lies, miseducations, and misindoctrinations which has been flying around for hundreds of years. A typical Yoruba man doesn't even know where he comes from. We only rely on hearsays without no evidence base. In most of my videos, I shall be telling you so many things you've never heard of in your entire life. I'm not saying I will be perfect, but at least I'll give you an head start. I will sow a seed in your mind, a seed that will make you to further make more findings which people don't care about. Let me start by the creation of the world. Who is the father of the world? Who is the first man on earth? How did religion comes to be? Who are the real Muslims? Who are the real Christians? What are their origins? Where did life begin from? And who are the father of faith? To give you a brief answer, Yorubas are the most ancient individuals on earth. Their tribe is the oldest one, irregardless of what you might have been taught historically. And everything under this world lies within their palms, if you actually check it evidently. From them, the case of the Quran and the Bible and most of the religions in the entire world were taken from them. They are just repetitions and copy which started with them. Let's start with the first man on earth. The first man on earth is said to be Abraham in both Abrahamic books. The Yorubas call that same man Obatala. So I will tell you the relationship and how it came to be. Let me just say tonight we shall be discussing who Abraham is in full details, details you've never heard of. And everything will come down to you. You will eventually realize that everything is all about the Yorubas. Let's start with Adam. The name Adam comes from Ada Lati Amo. Anyone who is conversant with the ancient, with the indigenous Yoruba means Ada means to create, Amo means clay, Lati means from. So when we put it together, it's Ada Lati Inu Amo, which became Adam. Is a Yoruba man. That's the Yoruba word, a typical Yoruba word. So if the story is not about a Yoruba man, how come it comes in Yoruba name? That tells you that everything comes with the Yoruba. Adamo, Adalatiamo, and that is the name that was given to the first man both in the Bible and in the Quran till today. So the word Adamo is a name which was ascribed to the first man by the white man based on their research. And this is a general name, not the actual name of the person. Is an adjective name. Is a name of, just like saying this is a man. This is a man means you are a man, a male. It does not really represent your actual name. Maybe your name is Smith, your name is John, your name is, that is your real name. A man is a general name, and that is the case of Adam. So we have stories that Adam came down all the way from heaven down to earth in the Garden of Eden. And the Garden of Eden, he had a wife, had two children, and these children reproduces and populate the earth. That is the brief story of what it is being said in both Abrahamic books. But in the Yoruba narrative, it's more deeper than that. Let me start by saying Obatala is the first Adam. If you check the Bible and the Quran, he was created from a muddy clay. He came down with a chain, then descended to the land of Ile-Ife. The land of Ile-Ife, where he stood, used to be filled with water. From the chain which he held onto, he had a sack at his back, and with the sack, inside the sack, he had within a snail shell filled with sand, earth, seed of different types, and so many things like that. So it was the snail shell he brought out while hanging on the rope, poured it at the middle of the sea, just to create a mini land where he can land on earth. And from then, he brought out a spiritual end. This spiritual end uses his gigantic claw to spread the sand to all parts of the earth, which people now recite till today. So that is the deep story. Let me now tell you the relationship between it and the Abrahamic books. The Bible in the Genesis really pointed out the earth was illuminating. It was dark, and the earth was filled with water. And the Spirit of God was hovering. The Spirit of God was hanging. That is the meaning of when Obatala was hanging on the rope. The Bible clearly said it. The Spirit of God was hovering. And the Lord said, let there be light. The Lord said, let there be this, let there be that, let there be that for at least 7 days. What it's indicating is that God gives command. Obatala is actualizing it. It's not just the thing of magic. Oh yeah, go and do it. Let there be, let there be. Something is doing it. And I will tell you the reason. Do not misquote me. I'm not saying God don't have the power to decide anything. What I'm actually saying that God did God built this world with the assistance of Obatala, with which you people might call angel or the first man or whatever the way you people want to say it. And how we tell you, this is the main reason why both in the same Quran and the Bible, the word God used, we did this. We created man. Let us create man in our image. Let us do this. God could have said, I created man. I want to create man. He said we. If you're familiar with the word we, it means multiple or two or above, which means everything was done together with God Almighty. So when Obatala came down to the head, he had chances. He stayed in the garden for a while. The land where he landed was the place called Ile-Ife today. The name of Ile-Ife comes from land. It can be interpreted to a land that keeps expanding, because the temporary land where Obatala put the head sand. So when Obatala landed at Ile-Ife, he got bored. So it was he that Olodumare, which the Almighty God of the Abrahamic book was referring to when he said, okay, Mr. Man, let us create man in our image. The reason is because before Obatala came down from heaven to land at Ile-Ife, Almighty already created him. Almighty already created Obatala in his own personal image. What Almighty looks like is what the shape of Obatala is, which is Adam. So when Obatala landed at Ile-Ife, Almighty is now addressing Obatala again, which is Olodumare addressing Obatala again. Obatala, now let me and you now also create man in our own image. Almighty created Obatala in heaven, which is why it's in both Bible and Quran that God said, I created Adam with my own hand. But it wasn't the same God that now came down to earth to start creating other humans on earth. No. It was this same Obatala that now created humans on earth, while Olodumare was breathing souls into them. Because he created Obatala in heaven. Obatala created human on earth. He was now breathing soul from heaven down to what Obatala created. And that was the genesis of we. Obatala, me, I'm in heaven. You are on earth. You created them the way I have created you. And I will help you breathe souls to them, because I can't come to earth to come and be creating humans the way I created you in my own heaven. So this was the narration. This was the cause of why the word we appears in both Bible and Quran. There is nothing else. So directly the Yoruba says it directly. They are very sure. They said Obatala created a human being. And they are extremely correct. So the kind of Adam we have. So the name Adam, to be precise, is not a name of a person. It's like a name of humanity in general. This is why the Yoruba said Enyoma Adamo. Enyoma Adamo, people of Adams. People of Adams. Adams is not a name of one person. So the Bible and the Quran too, they are also correct when they say the first man is Adam. Fine. Obatala is the first Adam because he was created from the earth. Likewise, you and me, which Obatala later created on earth, who now reproduces to cover the earth till today, regenerate till today. We are all Adam, so it's not one man that is Adam. The difference between Adam, the first Adam, which is Obatala, and we, which Obatala later created as the other Adam, is that God created Obatala with his own hands in heaven before he came down. But we that Obatala created, we had to meet to produce and to regenerate. So Obatala is more like a divine human, not a full human being. The way Abrahamic book define relates with it, it's not a real human. So for some reason, some may call it an angel type. Because if you remember, he was standing with the angel in the Abrahamic books. He was in heaven. He knows he stood with them. He was never dead before he came down to earth. But we human, we have to die before we go to heaven. So you can say Obatala is in between human and angel, but he was created in a human form. So those who the Abrahamic books who addresses him as a human, they are correct in their own explanation. The Yoruba natives who addresses Obatala as a semi-human or an angel like Irumole or Orisha, they are also correct because he was never like us. So both parties are on the same road, but from different perspective. So that is the case of Obatala and Adam. Obatala is the first Adam, but not the only Adam. Other humans after him too are also Adam. So when the Abraham book addresses Adam, it is referring to the first man, which is Obatala. Does not mean there is no other Adam after Obatala. So that is the answer for the Obatala. So let's now further move. So talking about the who Adam Obatala married, the Abrahamic books call that woman Eve. Eve, who is Eve? Just like Obatala, the first Adam. Adam is a general name. The word Eve too is also a general name. The Europeans who stole African history, they only pick and write what they understand. But there are limitations to what they understand because the Yoruba words are so deep. A single word in Yoruba can have more than 20 meanings. Some will even have a different we have same interpretation, but will be used in different ways. For an instance, in Yoruba, a child could ask his father, "Daddy, please, can I go there?" The father will just look at him like, "Go." It means don't go. The father actually said go, which means you should go. But the reaction of the saying, it means if you dare go, something bad will happen to you. But if you are to write down, you will write go. But directly, the Yoruba is actually saying don't go, even though it means go. So it's harder for a foreigner to jot down what the Yoruba write. Only the Yoruba understand how they use their languages. There is no how you can use it. Only them alone can use it perfectly. So in the same way, the word Eve, Eveh, is Eve. Let me take you down to the memory lane. In the Bible, they addresses a place where it is called Eve, Eve, Eveh, which means Eve. The word Eve was ascribed to a land called Ife. If you now remove that Eve, you later call it Eve. You remove the H, it becomes Eve, Eve versus Eveh, Eve and Eve. It's the same thing like Ife, Ife. They are the same word. They have different meaning. Ife is Eve, Eveh, Ife, Eve, Ife. So the word Eve, who married Abraham, was Ife, Ololufe, not the real name of the woman. Let us put it together. It's as good as saying in the Abrahamic books, ẹni tí a dá láti inú ilẹ̀ Ádámọ̀, tá a dá láti inú ilẹ̀ Ámọ̀ pẹ̀lú olólùfẹ́ rẹ̀. He which we created from the clay and his lover. That is what it's all about. These names are not their real names. Adam and Eve means a moldy created man with his lover, with his wife. It does not mean their actual real name. This is why the first Adam was Obatala in Yoruba narrative, and his wife was Yemaja in same Yoruba narrative. They mean the same thing. That is their native real names, but their general names is Adam and Eve. Ẹni tí a dá láti inú amọ̀ àti olólùfẹ́ rẹ̀, ìfẹ́ rẹ̀, which the Europeans translate as Adam and Eve. Are you getting it? So these are the deeper relationship between the Yoruba natives and the European narratives. So let's come to, they said Adam and Eve gave birth to two sons, Cain and Abel. And this Cain and Abel, they later populated the earth, is a stupid narration. I must tell you. Why? Cain is a male, Abel is a male. Adam is their father, Eve is their mother, and they were the only individuals on earth. So where did Cain and Abel get wives from to marry? At least they were the first four individuals on earth. In further narration, outside both Quran and Bible, they even said Cain killed Abel, and Cain went far away to go and restart a new life with his family. Where did Cain go when they were the only people on earth? Where did he get wives from? That means they are actually saying some people are already on earth, because Cain must have gotten a wife from another woman who were already existing before he left Adam and Eve. So there are so many misrelated narrative in regard to the stories. But if you are going to stick with the Bible and the Quran, they were very basic. They didn't speak much. The idea of Hadith saying this, the Babylonian book saying this, the book of Enoch saying this, they are patched lies from the Europeans, which doesn't add up. The Yoruba, and the reason is because Cain and Abel were just an abbreviative names which only describe the kind of son or children that eventually emerged out of the children from the other Adams at Ile-Ife. When Obatala created the molded different humans from the soil, just like his own image and heaven's image, God, which is Olodumare. This group of people individually, they marry themselves. They marry themselves. So the classifications of one group are Cain. The classification of another group is Abel. Some may be male, some I don't know. Honestly speaking, I don't know. But this is just the general classifications of certain group. One group might be one group might be easy and one group might be hard. Something like that. It's just a group names. But what the Yoruba native really identified with was that these children which Obatala molded, that God had put souls into, they married each others. From there, their children spread. So they left Ile-Ife then to different parts of the world, to reside. So this is what the Yoruba narrative in basic clearly says, which really correlates with what the Quran and Bible say, that through Cain and Abel their children spread out. But the Cain and Abel were never male and male, because if they are male if they were two males, where did they get wife from? These are questions which the pastors, imams sweep under the carpet. They don't want to talk about because they lack knowledge, and they don't want to identify with the basic truth of the Yoruba natives, because all these stories were stolen from the pre-existing Yoruba narratives. So everything started with the Yorubas. After they left Ile-Ife, they all spread out. The land where Obatala, the land where Obatala stood, where he was molding these people, was called the Eden. Ilẹ̀ tí ẹ ti di ènìyàn, the land where we have transformed you to human, became Eden. Edena. Edena, the Europeans shorten it to Eden. Eden. Edena. Edi ènìyàn. Edi ènìyàn was shortened to Eden. So it has nothing to do with a beautiful land, or because so many European nations are trying to, like usual, they will look for one beautiful corners of their country. They will say this is a land, like it has nothing to do with beauty. It's just a spiritual significant place where we can say this is an heavenly blessed place. The place might not have any fanciful flowers or the way people portray it today. It has nothing to do with beauty. It's just a significant place where we have created you and you have turned or transformed to a human being. It became Eden, and the place is at Ile-Ife, because there are three Ile-Ife according to the first class king. So that aside, that is what Obatala and Adam is all about. Is all about. That is the correlation between the Abrahamic books and the native Yoruba. So the Yoruba narratives are extremely right and they go in details. Likewise, the Abrahamic books too, they go in basic. All the extra details that the Islamic aliens, Islamist aliens, which they put in books to attach, they are all lies. Likewise, the European, they have no knowledge. If you want to know their actual knowledge, go and visit the Yorubas. They will tell you how Obatala molded humans. So that is what I can say. In my next video, I shall be talking about how Eve gave birth and how who Eve was in new details. And I believe you must have learned one or two things. Don't take my word for it, please. I'm not perfect. Go and find out. Go and make your own research too. But at least I'm 99.9% sure of what I'm saying. So I hope you like this video. Just help me press subscribe and thumbs up. And any video or any question you have, put it below. I will be answering, or any topics you want me to cover earlier before I do it. Just put it below. Just write it down below. I'm sure I will definitely answer you. Thank you very much. See you next in my next video.